welcome back to the Citizen channel. Hope you're all staying safe and well. And our player rating show, yes, well, we're happy with that. I'm happy with that. A lot to talk about in the Talking Point show, so please check that out. But Manchester City 1, Arsenal 0 in the FA Cup round 4 on the 27th of January 2023, 8 p.m. kickoff. Yeah, almost 8,000 Arsenal fans. Yeah, they were all right. They did okay. Yes, they've only got about 3 songs, I think, but they were fine. And obviously the City fans woke up a little bit more in the second half. A lot of criticism as usual about the City fans, but I think a little bit unfair considering most of the noisy fans are moved around just at the whim for these FA Cup games with these big allocations, etc. Right, anyway, we'll perhaps talk about that at some other stage. So I'm interested in the player ratings today in the company of Simon Bajkowski of the Manchester Evening News. Well, sort of. I've got his ratings. He's not here next to me. He wouldn't come down from his mountain to come here and sit next to me. Hey, you never know. One day, who knows? Anyway, we're going to do that today. Please, if you are new to the channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notifications. Great to have you on board. As you know, everything City past, present and forever. And if you're pushing buttons or not pushing buttons because you've already done it, give us that little thumbs up. I'm trying to get at least 15 to 20 likes for these City vlogs, and your support is much appreciated. It makes an old City fan very, very happy. Right, let's get on with this. The lineup. Ortega, no surprise there. And yes, for me, at this point in time, based on what Pep's been doing, this is his strongest 10 outfield players. And I only got a pathetic number. I'll talk about that in Talking Points. But that's because I just thought he wouldn't go for it. But he did. He wanted to win this. Lewis, Stones, Akanji, Aki, Rodri, De Bruyne, Gundogan, Mahrez, Grealish and Haaland. For me, stick Edison in there. That'll be his favourite 11 at the moment. Hopefully that will change as other players come back to form and start doing the business as well. Subs, Edison, Walker, Diaz, Phillips, Cancelo, Laporte, Alvarez, Bernardo and Palmer. Right, I'll give you Simon Bajkowski's views and then I'll give you my little views and scores. Ortega, Simon said 2 excellent saves in the first half, even if he then got in a bad mix-up with Stones. Well, this is Ortega. Simon's given him an 8. I am going to give him an 8 as well. What is consistent for Ortega is his inconsistency. Excellent against Chelsea in round 3, 1 or 2 little bloopers. Poor against the Saints in the Carabao Cup, inspired no confidence at all in what was a pretty lacklustre display. And very good again today. Never quite sure which one will turn up. As usual, the internet is full of people saying drop Edison, play Ortega. It's not going to happen. Short memories, this lot, haven't they? Yeah, this is what you get from Ortega. But on the day, a very, very good performance. What will happen next time? Who knows? Lewis, a tough night up against tricky Trossard and often found too far from Mahrez on the wing. Struggled a little bit. Simon's given him a 5. I'd have to agree. I can't give him a 6 for this one. No lack of effort, but he did feel a little bit lost out there at times. I'll give him a 5.5 against a very good Arsenal team, even though under strength. We'll go into that more. But he found it a lot tougher, but not a disaster. No, by no means. Nothing. No shame in that. He may need to be taken out the firing line just for a couple of games, but we'll see. Stones, another who's given far too much trouble by Trossard, and a hamstring injury never sounds good, but potential for that. Simon's given a 5. I'd have to go with 5.5. Old Glass Legs is back, unfortunately. Fortunately, we do have a certain guy called Laporte, a certain guy called Diaz as centre halves as well. So not a total disaster, but this is John Stones. It's just out what we expect. Play a couple of games and get injured again. And Pep intimated there's something wrong with him from the start before the injury, so that was an interesting comment to make. Akanji, some iffy moments coupled with some important interceptions. Simon's given a 7. I give him a 7. Steady-ish, if unspectacular. That's what you get with Akanji. Cope with most of what was sort of aimed at him, if you like. And of course, he's not as efficient in pace and tackling, but he certainly copes with what's coming straight forward at him. He's never, he's been brought in. He's one of our starting centre halves at the moment, and he's done what has been asked of Pep. And I think that's all we can ask. And as at this point, he's doing the business for us. Some people say in the future he will let us down because he's let other teams down. But hey, we've not seen that yet. Aki, outstanding to keep Saka quiet, and the goal was lovely as well. He's given him 9. Simon's given 9 for Aki. I've got to agree. I mean, I'm a big Aki fan anyway, as you know. I think most of us are now, aren't we? I think we're all growing to love Aki so much. One of our, if you like, just likeable guys. Possibly his best all-round left-back performance as far as defending against a good player, against a good team, and also managing to get forward. And like Akanji, he's getting a good run, and he's so far doing the business, and I don't think anyone can complain. Brilliant performance from Aki. We'll talk about man of the match in a minute. Rodri, interesting one. Not the sort of team Rodri likes to play, in my opinion. Simon says far too many misplaced passes and was made to look off the pace by Arsenal. Let's give him a 5. Again, I'm not going to go as low as 5, but I will give a 5.5. Rodri always finds it hard to dominate and get involved against these pacey midfield teams like Arsenal, who sometimes can play it around. Sometimes he can be a bit more direct, very, very quick at doing stuff, breaking the lines. And Rodri does struggle as an oil tanker in the middle of that pitch. Once he gets up and going, he's fine, but he does struggle against those little circles, those little triangles, etc. And I think he did struggle against Arsenal last night, and it didn't surprise me one iota. Not a disaster by any means, but he does struggle against teams like that. Someone like Ferner would probably cope a little bit better, but that's just how Rodri plays. De Bruyne, Simon said, good intent to try and set Haaland free, although the accuracy was too often lacking. He's given a 6. I will give him a 6. Bypassed most of the time, but a lively performance and of late for me. One of his better performances recently. Actually, he's had a rest or two. A bit more deliberate with things last night. It was always a threat, though. Well, at least one good shot in the first half that almost sort of curled in. But yeah, it was fine. 6 for me and 6 for Simon. There's nothing we can say, really. Say again, in a game where we're playing a team that are very, very good. Perhaps a little bit more fizz needed, but it was difficult last night. Gundogan, some lovely turns, said Simon, to create space up the pitch and help City find their tempo. Yeah, I mean, Gundogan's the guy to sort of slow things down, isn't he? And sometimes you need that against teams like Arsenal. Simon's given him a 7. I've given him a 6.5. Just a steadying influence for me. A lot of people rushing around him, but I thought he had a good game, if not a spectacular game. Again, against a fast, youngish, efficient team. Mahrez, an unusually quiet night. Well, this is what we go from man of the match, will-beating performances to this in the same way. His consistency, his lack of consistency with, say, Ortega. This is exactly the same with Mahrez on a larger basis. He gets to play more. An unusually quiet night, said Simon. Made some decent runs, but either not found by teammates or couldn't do anything with it. And he's given him a 5. Yeah, again, I've not gone lower than 5.5 today. But it was one of his quieter nights again. It's where he's not at pace. He's not meeting the ball at pace. There's a couple of chances in the second half where he attacked it at pace and did very well. But generally not one of his better nights. Grealish, Simon said, grew into the game and picked up an important assist. I think of the two wingers last night, I think Grealish was better than Mahrez. Simon's given him a 7. I'm not going to quibble with that. And he did improve. As City, again, did improve in the second half. I don't know why we're giving up these first halves so much. Something wrong there. Not every team we play against is suddenly going to drop a level in the second half, allowing us to start to dominate a little bit more. There's got to be something more to it than that. It is odd. But he improved greatly, and obviously for the assist he got a little bit of luck at the start of it, but he managed to sort of weave and duck and weave inside that box to confuse, and a nice little layback for Aki, who passed it into the net. So yeah, I thought Grealish was of the two wingers last night was far more effective, and certainly worried worried Arsenal a lot. Haaland, a bit of a thankless task, said Simon, to knock balls back for his teammates all night and then usually fail to get it given back. Yeah, just a number 9's performance last night. My big lummox was just a big lummox getting in the way. No lack of effort from me. Simon's given him a 6. I give him a 6. I'm not going to give him any less than a 6, but fairly on the night ineffective. It was obviously he was unlucky, I think, with that. I think Akanji played the ball through and Arsenal didn't defend it very well. He was sort of I'm not sure whether it was Holding who was involved, but obviously he ended up with the ball. But fortunately, the Arsenal keeper managed to get there just in time to spin it up in the air, and obviously Haaland tried an audacious overhead kick, which if there hadn't been a defender there, would have got in the net, but there was a defender there. But no lack of effort from Haaland last night, because he doesn't score, people have a go at him, but he just played a big lummoxy number 9 role last night and was effective in doing that, and that's all we can say, really. Substitutes. Laporte for Stones on 45 made an important block to stop Saka that more than made up for any loose play. I didn't see too much loose play. Simon's given me 7. I'd given him a 7. I thought he made 2 or 3 good interceptions on the night, coming on for that 45 minutes, and I thought he slotted in nicely, and I was impressed as we have been over the years, of course, with Laporte's performance last night. If Stones is out for a while, this left foot, right foot centre partnership, which Pep prefers, might be back on the cards for a while. So there you go. Cause certainly, if Stones is out for a bit now, if he has got a hamstring injury or something else. Alvarez for Mahrez, 58 minutes. Simon said, make things happen. Offer City a different approach. He has a go. That's the difference. He's not going to fanny about Alvarez. He gets on with it. I mean, Simon's given him an 8. I'm not going to give him that much for 30 minutes, just over 30 minutes play. I'll give him a 7. Certainly an improvement on Mahrez. And sooner or later, Alvarez will get a regular slot. There's no doubt about it. He's willing to have a go. He set, all right, it was a little bit after he's hit the post, but he set up the goal by having a crack. He set up the goal, and that led to the goal eventually, 20 seconds later. So, yeah, nothing. Alvarez, he's being patient, he's doing all the right things. We'll see a lot more of Alvarez. Let's not start panicking and stick him in the team every week. He's doing what he needs to do at the moment and doing it very well. Walker for Lewis on 58 minutes. Simon said he did everything asked of him tactically, and he's given him a 7. I'll give him a 7. No sulking that Lewis is being preferred. He got a job done. He looked raring to go for me. He looked at it. He looked confident. He certainly didn't give the Arsenal players any joy. I was happy with Walker, as I say. He could easily go away and sulk and whinge and say, look, I've only got a couple of years left. I want to be in the first team. But he knuckled down, and I loved it. I'm glad he came on and did a good job. Bernardo for De Bruyne on 75 minutes. Another one who's getting a lot of stick at the moment. Obviously, just if you want to go. We get all this attitude from City fans. It's sad, really. But Simon said some nice touches and give him a 6. I'm not going to mark Bernardo. What I did like about Bernardo, especially towards the end when we needed to, kill the game, if you like, which we used to be very good at. We're not so good at it these days, and certainly Arsenal are very good at hanging on in there as well on their stats to score late goals. He did what we needed to do. He held the ball. He went into the corners. It was excellent. I'm not going to whinge about the fact if he goes, he goes. It's as simple as that. But full-heartedly that while he pulls that City shirt on, he will give to the cause. And I don't stand up to anyone have a go at him about about going. As long when he plays today, especially for that last 20 minutes, including injury time, he did what he needed to do, and thank you, Bernardo. As I say, we don't know how long he'll be with us. He might be going this week, but I was happy with Bernardo. Not used: Ederson, Diaz, Phillips, Cancelo, and Palmer. Man of the match, well, there's no doubt about it. I've got his stats. If you check out my Talking Points show, but Aki was a clear man of the match for me, and a clear man of the match, I think, for City as well. The City man of the match. So I don't think there's any doubt whatsoever in that. Overall, some two or three good performances. Ortega could have been up there for challenging it for it as well. But I will give it Aki. Let me know what you think, guys. Let me know your ratings. Let me know who you thought who your man of the match was. It'd be great to hear from you. And soon, of course, I've not recorded it yet, but I will be putting out the Talking Points show as well. So once you've had a look at this, get over and have a look at that. Some interesting stuff from last night to have a little chat about, as well as the match report and stats, of course, and some interesting stats. I like my stats on last night and those stats on Aki's performance as well. So thanks for watching, guys. Please, until we meet again, that's one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, please. Come on, City. Bye for now.